Hi, it's Joey Remenyi here from seekingbalance.com.au. And I work with people who have chronic, invisible, ongoing symptoms and sensations in their body. These could be ringing in the ears, could be dizziness, could be vertigo, could be pains, or a lingering feeling of anxiety and depression that just won't seem to lift. Commonly, my clients are told there's no cure, there's nothing more we can do. Try this drug, try this device, try this therapy, and then they seem to find themselves in a bit of a repeating loop. Now, I've got an exciting live call coming up that I would like to invite you to if you relate to this feeling of feeling stuck, feeling the endless goose chase for answers. People who come and work with me in the Rocksteady program and the Rocksteady path are interested in listening to the wisdom of the body. So they go through the Rocksteady modules, they pause, they listen, they take on their neuroplasticity daily program to help their brain and their body create new neural pathways so that they can build a new normal and return to their normal life. The live call I'm hosting on May 17th in a couple of weeks, it's actually going to be under the light of the full moon, is on trauma. And the reason I'd like to host this call for my community and for those of you interested is because when we undergo this process of neuroplasticity, of pausing and listening to the body, a lot of my clients notice they become more steady, more grounded, more centered, more relaxed, more calm, emotionally more neutral. And as we arrive at this kind of stronger place within ourselves, it's the perfect opportunity for old suppressed memories and traumas that the body's holding to surface and arise. It's a really healthy, normal part of meeting our wholeness, overall healing, and meeting those different, potentially abandoned or rejected parts of ourselves that we haven't known what to do with, and we haven't necessarily had the tools to move through some of those bigger feelings. So, trauma is a very loaded word. I would love to bust some myths about trauma. I would love to talk about how it's really healthy to feel through it. It's healthy to address it. It's a part of being an adult and being a human being. There's no shame in it. So I'd love to discuss how once we really drop in, listen to the wisdom of the body, relax, center ourselves, and start to heal and build neural pathways. Sometimes we can have kind of a surprise event happen where we start to meet memories, meet our younger self perhaps, and we have this opportunity, this potent opportunity to process and resolve complex or difficult, challenging memories, emotions, situations in the past that that need resolution, and we're in a position now to do that. So the call is going to be talking all about the different types of trauma, talking about how neuroplasticity skills are really useful for simplifying and giving us structure for feeling through the body. We don't have to go into story, we don't have to go into oodles of therapy, we don't have to complicate it. And it's a place to share insights. It's a place to ask questions. Now, this live call is a part of my Overcoming Physical and Emotional Trauma program that I wrote for my Rocksteady participants who were feeling blocked and stuck and feeling like they're really trying to use neuroplasticity to build desired sensations, to have their new normal, but they just feel stuck. They feel like something's in the way. And quite rightly so, sometimes what's in the way is this kind of unknown trauma that's sitting in our brain, and it's saying, listen to me, process me, you're ready, you're ready. And if we don't know how to go there, it can just sit there like this blockage. So this conversation started to become relevant. Keystone to the Rocksteady path is body scanning, closing our eyes, pausing and listening to the body. And really, it creates the perfect environment for these vulnerable and tender memories or emotions or trauma patterns to actually surface, arise, and be resolved. So, using our neuroplasticity skills and our neuroplasticity tools, which are all there for us in the Rocksteady program, they can actually help us access some deeper, darker, more difficult places within ourselves. And I really want to normalize this. I want to celebrate it because while it can be deeply uncomfortable to go through this process, it's potent, powerful, and liberating. If we can stay with the process, if we can understand it, if we can support and hold ourselves, we come out the other side with a deeper sense of self, feeling, compassion, humanity. I know for me, I built the Rocksteady program wanting to help the clients I was seeing with vestibular or tinnitus conditions that were not being held by this system. And I wanted to give them skills and tools to reset and rewire their body. And that's where Rocksteady started. It's really caught me by surprise at how much the trauma patterns and trauma stories are arising within our community. It's quite a common conversation, childhood traumas or at any age really, but often it does come back to misunderstandings and emotional memories from very early on in life. And then, of course, it caught me by surprise when, after birthing my second son, I was sharing with my community, wow, all of these suppressed emotions out of nowhere are arising, and I'm having to meet some really difficult, dark uh, traumas that I was completely unaware of. I had no idea they were living in my body. But I really saw the gift and the potency in staying with it, in letting myself be vulnerable and tender, and in acknowledging that I'm coming from a relaxed and strong place in order to allow these memories to surface, to process them, to acknowledge my humanity, and to expand my capacity to feel. So instead of numbing myself to feel just this much darkness and just this much pleasure, I was widening my window of feeling and really allowing my energetic and physical body, my sensations, to broaden and to be okay with that. So learning to be with discomfort, icky, clunky, awkward feelings. So, what I would love this live trauma discussion to really focus on is how neuroplasticity skills and tools are incredibly useful for implementing in daily life to help us rewind, unwind, resolve trauma patterns. Because I think it's not about one therapy session or talking, it's about daily life choices and actions that help weaken habits and help weaken patterns that are no longer serving us or needed. I'd love to talk about some of the myths. I would love to normalize the concept that so many of us on this planet are living with these blocked traumas and we're not doing anything about it. Or what we're doing is self-medicating, perhaps through alcohol, avoidance, distraction, etc. So I'd love to talk about other options of feeling our way through it, of softening, of welcoming in those vulnerable and tender parts of ourselves. And I would love to talk about the fact that the trauma can resolve, it can move through the body and leave. And I think so often we feel like it's stuck, it's a long, hard process, and it can need lots and lots of expensive therapy. And I would love to open up this conversation that what if our body is so wise, our body suppresses those emotions until that perfect moment then we're actually ready to resolve them and process them, that our body hides those big difficult feelings from us until we're ready. And when we're ready, we've got everything we need. We're resourced, we're strong enough to hold ourselves or get whatever appropriate external supports around us we need, which is not advice, which is not necessarily traditional therapies, but to have a beautiful, warm, safe place to feel through these difficult things that are arising. If we trust nature and trust that what's arising we're ready for, it changes everything and it allows us to fall into the slipstream of nature and take that easy path of flow and healing. So we become unblocked and unstuck. If you're interested in joining this conversation, I would love you to join me on my live call. It's May 17th, 2022, which could be May 16th if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm going to put a link underneath this video. You are all welcome to join. My name's Joey Remenyi. To learn more about me, visit seekingbalance.com.au. If you're interested to dive deep into this process, check out the Rocksteady program. It's a comprehensive guide to using neuroplasticity in daily life with peer support. And overcoming physical and emotional trauma is a side program, and that's where this live call will be hosted. So I'll pop a link down for that one. Join me May 17 for a live call. I am really excited to have this conversation. And so bye for now.